Morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Your Honor. Do you know how old you are as compared to Jeffery Williams?
Like two, 3 years.
Okay. And you would be younger, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you met Jeffery, you didn't know him at all until approximately 2009, is that correct?
Probably, yeah.
And you would be in 2009 about 17 years of age, did I do that right?
Oh, no, they're wrong then.
16 years of age, what'd you say?
I probably like 15 when I met him, something like that.
Okay. Do you remember a place here in Atlanta area called Jonesboro South?
Yes.
Did you grow up there?
Nah.
Do you remember it closing by any chance?
Yeah.
Did you ever know Jeffery if he lived in Jonesboro South? Were you ever aware of him at that time?
I went to school with his sister, but I ain't know him.
Okay. So is it fair to say you met Jeffery later when you were about 15? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. And you met him through, do you remember who you met him through?
Probably the Trentays or Boo One on.
Okay. Okay. And when you were 15, Jeffery would have been about 17, 18, fair to say?
Yes.
And from your observations, meaning your personal views, was Jeffery interested in music at that time?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Overruled.
Foundation.
Overruled.
Answer? Yes, he was. I think he was already rapping.
Okay. And if you could just do me a favor, because the jurors want to hear you, if you can, speak up. If you can't, that's fine. We'll do the best we can do. And when you say he was already rapping, did you ever go see him at underage performances, at clubs that allowed children under, young adults?
Yes.
Under the age of 18 or 21? And would it be fair to say that Jeffery was rapping throughout the area where you were growing up and where he grew up?
Yes, that's how everybody met him, really.
Okay. And from your knowledge, your personal views, is it fair to say that you promoted, that may be a bad word, but you talked about Jeffery's music?
Yes.
And you told people you liked the music. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And other people in the area did the same. Is that true?
Yes.
And do you remember signs going up for when Jeffery was performing?
All the time.
Okay.
Like when we were young, yeah.
One more time?
When we was younger, a lot, yeah.
Yeah. And this wasn't, at that point, Jeffery involved with a record label or anything. This is just community getting behind an artist. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you were proud of him, right?
Everybody from the neighborhood was.
One more time.
Everybody from the neighborhood was.
And from that neighborhood that you grew up in and that you then later met Jeffery, can you describe it to the jury? What your viewpoint? Tell the jurors what a typical day in that neighborhood was.
What neighborhood? Cleveland Avenue?
15, 16 years old, yeah. You can look at the jurors if you want to. If you don't do it.
Rough. Every day.
Define rough.
Rough. Like, I can't really define it. It's just like a lot of stuff you just go through. Like, it's something always going on.
Okay. And as the time went on, so 15, 16, 17 years of age you are, okay?
Yes.
Did Jeffery's popularity grow?
Yes.
In music. I'm talking about music.
I think it grew fast, yeah.
Okay.
Immensely.
And is it fair to say that the speed on which it grew came out of, it broadened it beyond the little area in Atlanta that you were living and that you knew Jeffery?
Yes.
Did he start to play, if you know, in other venues, like a restaurant, bar, club, stadium? Did he start playing them outside of the Atlanta area?
I think going like other little towns and stuff like that.
One more time.
Like other little towns and stuff like that.
In
little cities and stuff.
And you talking about just in Georgia?
Georgia, Alabama, it'd be different. Like, just little small cities and stuff.
Okay. And did you ever go to those type of events?
Nah.
You stayed more locally. Is that fair
Yeah, I
to say?
stay local.
All right. Now, did there come a time, and I want to focus on 2013, 14, and 15. Okay. So you would be in.
Brian still establishing that Young Thug was already an established artist before the meat of the RICO even came about. You understand?
Those years, and take your time and think about it. But in approximately 2013, you would be
20.
okay, and then 14 would be about 21.
Yes.
15, 22.
That's,
It's okay. Just
I don't remember.
it's all right.
I don't know.
Let's do it this way.
Yes, that's right.
That's about right.
Yes.
Okay. And I was going to say you were arrested in 2015. Fair to say?
Yes, I was still 21 when I was arrested, but I turned.
But go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. I turned 22.
In 2015.
Yes.
Later, after the jurors heard about a August 5th, 2015 interview, audio recorded,
Yes.
video recorded. You saw some clips. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So how you were about 21 at that time, about to turn 22. Fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. So Jeffrey, if he's 2 or 3 years older than you, he'd be about 24 by 2015.
Yes.
Sound right? Okay. So I'm going back just a couple of years, 2013, 14, 15. So you'd be like 19, 20, 21, going into 22. Fair?
Yes.
I want you to lock in on that. And you were asked by Lawyer Love a question about after March of 2015, on your oath, your knowledge, did Jeffrey work with Rich Homie Quan? Remember those questions or that question?
No.
Okay. I want to talk with you about Jeffrey in 2013, 14, 15, and his musical career, okay?
Yes.
And if you don't remember this, don't know it, didn't observe it, just let us know, okay? By 2013, are you familiar with the Jeffrey's song Stoner? Are you familiar with that song?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember whether it came out in 2013?
Yeah, I think it was 13,
Okay.
13, 12, something like that. 13, one on.
All right. And do you remember a song, same year, 2013, Danny Glover by Jeffrey?
Yes.
All right. And did that come out about the same time, 2013?
Yeah, I think they came out like months apart or something like that.
And tell the jury, they may not know these songs. Tell the jury, from your observation, how popular were those songs? How many views, and you don't have to give a number, but how did you hear on the radio? Tell the jurors.
That's all you heard?
Objection, Your Honor. That's compound, and it calls for speculation, and there's not a
Overruled.
foundation for his ability to say how popular it was. He can talk about his personal knowledge or feeling about it, but not everyone else.
That's what the question I understood to be, personally.
Tell the jurors.
That's all you heard everywhere you turn.
I can't hear it.
That's all you heard everywhere you turn.
Everywhere you turn, that's what you heard.
Yes.
Music-wise, you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And then going into the next year, 2014, I want you to.
Brian Still, don't leave that. Brian Still should have established that doesn't happen for every artist that comes out of Atlanta. And y'all do produce a lot, right? That's not what you normally see, right? So that means Jeffrey actually is one of many to exceed and jump out with success at an early stage like this, right?
Lock in on that date, okay? You're approximately 20, about to turn 21, okay?
Yes.
Jeffrey would be about 3 years older than you. He'd be about 23, right?
Yes.
All right. And I know you said 2 or 3 years, so 22, 23. Do you remember a song personally? You know the band Rich Gang or the group Rich Gang or the?
Yes.
All right. Do you know a song called Lifestyle?
Yes.
Tell the jurors the popularity through your own observation of Lifestyle.
That song took over the world. Like,
I can't hear you.
that song took over the world. Like, everybody loved the song.
How about, you know, a song, Hooker?
Yeah.
It's spelled Hookah. Do you know who Tyga is? Tyga.
Yes.
Do you know that song with Jeffrey and Tyga? Tell the jurors in 2014 how popular, if at all, that song was.
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Sustained.
Okay. Did you hear that song on the radio?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Overruled.
Yes, a lot.
Okay. How about the same year, you know an artist named Clifford Harris? Phenomenal artist known as T.I.?
Yes.
All right. Do you know a song, All About the Money, that Jeffrey, and it featured T.I.?
Yeah, I know a lot of his songs, yeah.
Okay. And that's 2014 as well?
Yes.
So by 2013 and 14, from your own life experiences, how well known in the Atlanta area, your area, was Jeffrey?
Everybody know him before then.
One more time.
Everybody know even before then, though.
Okay. And then by 2014, so you're about 20, turning 21, did you ever go to Jeffrey's shows outside of Georgia or Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, 14, yeah.
I couldn't hear the last thing you said.
Yes, you said around 2014. Yes.
Okay. Now 2015.
Yes.
You're 21, turning 22 later in the year. It's going to be the year you get arrested, right?
Yes.
Are you familiar with a song called Check, Check,
Yes.
by Jeffrey? And from your observations, was that a very popular song?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I'm bad.
That's okay. And it's not okay,
Oh.
but no one thinks you did it on purpose. I don't think.
Move on.
How about with that? It's spelled Withthat. You know that song by Jeffrey?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
Best Friend. You know that song by Jeffrey?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
I'm asking if he knows the song.
I know.
By 2015, were you aware of Jeffrey touring?
Yes.
Okay. And did you go on a tour?
Yes.
You ever hear of the rodeo tour?
Yes, I went for like probably 10 days, 9 days, something like that. I got sick.
Okay. And by 2013, 14, and 15, you met in approximately August 2014, you met Kenneth Copeland. Fair to say?
Yes.
And he and you became close friends. True?
Not close, but yeah.
Okay. And you met Demikian Garlington, right?
I had already knew him.
And you were close with him, right?
Yes.
And you were committing crimes with Demikian Garlington, right?
Yes.
And Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah.
Okay. And while Jeffrey is, you know, he's in the studio all the time if he's not touring. Is that true?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation, unless he has personal knowledge of Mr.
Overruled.
Williams.
Sustained.
Have you seen Jeffrey in the studio?
A lot.
Okay. And while these crimes are going on that the jurors heard about, drive-by shootings, you did that, right?
Objection, Your Honor, as to misrepresentation about, or vagueness rather, when
Vagueness. Sustained.
You did drive-by shootings that you discussed with this jury, right?
That I'm convicted of, yes.
Okay. And Jeffrey never asked you to do those drive-by shootings, did he?
I ain't even know.
Okay.
Stolen. Yo, to the people that's watching right now, we've been watching for 137 days now. That's game over right there, y'all. Yeah. So he took it past the idea of conspiring with others and orchestrating and telling your minions to go do something for you because you at the top of the pyramid and it's an enterprise and you telling the people at the bottom of the pyramid to go do some work so we could keep the pyramid shaped like it is and I could stay at the top. Holmes said, yo ain't even know. Game over.
And Jeffrey, you knew by 2000.
Hence, they're alleging that someone used the rental car in his name. With the boss that actually orchestrated this play to get to a position in the music industry that most people don't get to, that strive for this position, right? Would he go rent the car and didn't give it to his steppers to go step on somebody that he needs to get out of the way, but he orchestrated this plan and he just dropped the ball with the rental car mission?
And
Or does the rental car mission let you know that technically if that was them, surely Jeffrey didn't tell him to do it because they was using his rental car? Game over.
13, 14, and 15, he is touring outside of Atlanta all the time. Is that true?
Objection, vague.
Sustained.
Do you know if he's touring in 2013 outside Atlanta?
Yes.
Do you know if he's touring outside Atlanta in 2014?
Yes.
How about 15?
Yes.
I'm going to show you. It's already marked. It's in evidence, Your Honor. It's Mr. Williams numbers 220A. It goes up to 220XX. May I approach?
Man, it's just
It's obvious to see when you look at Thug career, though, y'all. Real rap. He ain't a partial star. Real rap, y'all. I called this at the beginning. This ain't no partial star, y'all. Holmes really was busy. And it don't make sense for him to be doing frivolous moves to mess up where he done got. Come on, man.
Remove it if you need to, or I'll remove it for you. Just if you can, just keep them in order. Just go through these. Just flip through them. Tell me when you can.
Go through all of them?
Yeah, just tell me if you remember those concerts, and if you attended some of them.
Yo, I'm going to take it a step further and say Thug is probably top 5 on artists' careers from Atlanta. And I ain't talking about in just his bracket. I'm talking about overall. Yeah, the amount of work and put in from an artist coming from out of Atlanta, I'm going to keep it real. The length of his career and the height of it, I'm going to have to say the amount of leg work put in got to be top 5. I'm telling y'all, like the scheduling and all of the effort, I'm telling y'all, bro. This is what I do, y'all. I work in the studio and help artists try to get successful. The level of success and sustainability that he done had, man. That is not easy. It's not easy, y'all. There's no way around it.
Right, and just let me know.
I remember what city I stopped at.
What city did you stop at?
Chicago.
Had you ever been outside of the Atlanta area in those cities before the rodeo tour?
Not in no area.
No area, right?
Not in those areas, no.
Okay. Now, if you can see it, and it may not be clear, so I will come up with the court's permission. What date were you sent home? Or, did you have to go home for your illness?
Eight, 1, 5. I don't know. I just know Chicago. That's if I remember the city.
May I approach you, Honor?
You may.
May I approach you, sir? May I come forward to you?
Yes.
Let me just look. Just point to me where it says Chicago. Right there? Does that say, if you could see it, March 8th, 2015?
It was around that time.
Okay. So, when you were sent home from that tour, by that time, March 8th, 2015, it is true, is it not, that Kenneth Copeland told you that he was committing crimes and shootings. Is that true?
Objection, vague and hearsay.
Overruled.
Say it again.
Sure. Is it true that by March of 2015, while Jeffrey's on the tour, Kenneth Copeland was not getting along with Shell Kell, or you know who Shell Kell is?
I remember the name, yeah.
Okay. They were not getting along. True?
Objection would call for speculation.
Sustained.
If you know.
Your Honor, I'd ask for foundation.
Do you know whether Kenneth Copeland told you that he was not getting along and was in a big fight with Shell Kell?
Before them days, he had already been told.
That's what I'm asking, but I can't hear you, and tell the jurors.
I say before them days, he had already told him.
Okay. And when you say before them days, those days, Mr. Copeland was already in an argument, that's my word, with Shell Kell. True?
Yes.
A disagreement, right?
Yes.
And it was violent. True?
Yeah.
They would shoot at each other at times, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Kenneth
Whoa.
Copeland told you that, right?
Before Donovan Thomas? Look at them two. Hilton like, what? When that happened? Look at these two, y'all. Look. He just agreed to them going as far as to banging back at each other, having shootouts before Donovan Thomas. Now, I will say this. That's not in none of the... Listen, y'all. That ain't in none of the story, y'all. Still just threw that in, y'all. I'm going to keep it real. Don't tell nobody. Still just slid that in, y'all. Yeah. Just look at Hilton and Love. Yo, still greaseballed them. They definitely ready to get upset.
Yeah.
Okay. Same with Donovan Thomas. Kenneth Copeland stole from Donovan Thomas. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
He broke into his car, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he took his
He remember.
his identification. Remember that?
I think it was some jewelry or something like that.
Okay. Mr. Copeland also took the peanut chain. Remember that?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I just remember something about some jewelry.
It was jewelry. All right. And Donovan Thomas later found out that it was Kenneth Copeland who stole from him, right?
Yeah, I think he ended up giving it back or something like that. I don't remember too much of that.
That's fine. And you discussed that with Kenneth Copeland, right?
So that's why it's Operation Planners? Because that don't pay, that's not planners. Don't pay attention. That's pokey. Nah, I'm talking planners. Operation Planners. I'm talking Operation Planners. That's the peanut chain. Now it makes sense. This was about that chain. This ain't got nothing to do with nut. Uh-oh, got him. You see how they try to be slick? They ain't want to keep showing us the peanut chain. All of the state's evidence does not include the peanut chain until they spoke about it finally, and then they showed us the picture of the peanut chain finally. All the other pictures he got on different chains, right? But mysteriously, this little fella right here is the goddamn logo that got stolen by Woody, y'all. Wow.
I don't know if it was directly with him, but it was probably around him.
Or Mr. Garlington, right?
It was one of them, yeah.
And all that then also includes Kenneth Copeland being beaten, embarrassed at Club Crucial on January 6, 2015. If you don't remember the date, just say I don't remember.
I don't remember that. I remember him getting fired. I don't remember the date.
Okay. And Kenneth Copeland you saw him after the fight, right?
Yeah.
He had a knot on his head, right?
Yeah.
Black eye.
Oh, yeah. I think his eye was swollen or something like that.
Okay.
Not on his head.
And this happened at Club Crucial, and Kenneth Copeland was mad. He told you that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And during that whole time, throughout the rodeo tour, you know, through your own observation, Jeffery Williams was friendly with Donovan Thomas. True?
Through
I
the
told-
rodeo?
Wait, go
You
ahead.
know what? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I told, yeah.
That's true, right? Tell the jurors.
Yeah, I've been told him that.
Okay. And Jeffery is doing his career, right?
Yes.
And Kenneth Copeland doesn't ask, to your knowledge, Jeffery for permission to get into an argument or fight or shoot at anyone, does he?
Well, he a grown man. He ain't gonna ask him, man. I mean,
You
grown.
guys-
And he just met each other less than a year ago. Like at this point, they only know each other for a couple months. So how could Thug tell Woody what to do? Real rap, y'all. Seriously.
You got to speak slower to the jurors.
My bad. He grown. I mean, you know, you grown. He got it. Like, he don't control nobody.
Okay. And you also told that to the police, right?
Yes.
You were asked, I started about Rich Homie Quan. You know who that is, right? The performer.
Yeah.
His name is Mr. Lamar. Do you know him as his real name by any chance?
I don't know his real name.
Okay. And you were asked, and I think you said you don't remember, so don't worry about that. But after, I want to talk to you after, on and after March of 2015, if Jeffery working with Rich Homie Quan, okay, in the music field. I want to focus on that, okay? That's what we're focusing on. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know Jeffrey's contractual obligations at that time? And if you don't, just say, I don't know.
Man, you gotta explain what you just said.
Okay.
What did the record labels obligate Young Thug to do under contract, or else he would lose his contract and be sued? Like promotion?
Did you know whether Jeffery was signed to an agreement with a record label that he had to do certain performances with certain people
Objection.
by March of 2015? Were you aware of that?
I think he had a contract, yeah.
Okay. And were you ever in any negotiations or meetings or review any contracts?
No.
All right. And did Jeffery ever go to you and ask, is this a good opinion?
No.
And you follow Jeffrey's career to this day, right?
What you mean?
Okay.
Like, still listen to music?
That was a bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you did that your whole time since you met him, right?
Yeah.
And by 2015, were you, did you go to Europe with Jeffery after the rodeo tour ended?
No, I think I was locked up already.
Okay. You knew he went though, right?
Yes, I heard about it.
Okay. You knew he went twice in 2015 to play in Europe, right?
And foundation.
Objection, what? In film?
Speculation and foundation.
Well, he's
Overruled.
asking if he knew or not, so he can say yes or no. Overruled.
I remember hearing about
Got him.
one of them in 15.
Okay. And were you aware, if you were personally, that Jeffery was written up in the New York Times, 2015?
Objection.
Nah, I don't object to that lady. That boy was in New York Times. Do you know how much effort and promotion and marketability and money it takes to get an article in New York Times? And you want us to tell us that he needed to get rid of some bald, chubby dude that's back home? Stop, lady, stop. Please. My back hurt. You're killing me.
Relevance.
Sustained.
Were you aware that Jeffery was contracted with, if you don't know, just say it, Calvin Klein?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
Hey, yo, do big corporations, do they research on people they hiring and study the risk versus reward? Meaning, like, if you got a whole bunch of, like, felonious things going on in your regular life, we really don't want to be, using you for this brand that we've been building for hundreds of years. You feel me? Holla.
You were aware Jeffery was contracted with Puma,
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
2015?
Your Honor.
Who remember the beginning of the trial before it started? And I said, yo, when Steele get to talking about this boy, real work ethic and all the receipts and the facts.
Were you aware that Jeffery was written up in Vogue magazine?
Your Honor.
Okay, so that whole line of questioning I think we're going to get the same objection and it's going to be the same ruling.
By the time that you are, as you said, locked up, that means in jail, right?
Yes.
By that time in 2015, tell the jurors since that time your interactions with Jeffery Williams.
Since I've been in prison?
Since 2015, you made bond one time, right? You got out, then you were rearrested, right?
I ain't saw him again.
I can't hear you.
I haven't seen him since.
So since 2015, approximately, we're talking about April. Is that true? The first time you got locked up, then you made bond? May, sorry. To this day, you had zero means no, communication with Jeffery Williams. Is that true?
I mean, I've been locked up I just got out with it last year.
Game over.
The year before last.
Okay, so the year before last to now, do you ever have communication with Jeffery?
No.
While in custody,
40 love.
do you ever have communication with Jeffery?
No.
Did he pay for your lawyer?
No.
Did he pay for any bond?
No.
He didn't contact you, right?
No, and I ain't contact him.
Right. Because your relationship with Jeffery wasn't this, he's the gang leader, right?
No, it was never that.
And you told that to the authorities, right?
Yes.
And when Kenneth Copeland is telling you about, and you know about crimes he's doing, that's not at the behest. That's a bad word. That's not to your knowledge because Jeffery Williams asked him to, right?
Objection, that's speculation, and that would be just speculation.
Overruled.
Sustained.
To your knowledge, has Jeffery Williams ever asked anyone to shoot up a home?
No.
To your knowledge and information, tell the jurors, if you have any information, did Jeffery Williams ever tell anyone to murder someone?
I already told him he wasn't like that. He ain't getting involved in stuff like that.
To your
Game over.
knowledge, did Jeffery Williams even know about the killing of Donovan Thomas until it was broadcast afterwards?
Afterwards. He knew afterwards.
I can't hear you.
Afterwards. Whatever, however you said.
And you were asked by the lawyer Love, and if you don't remember, just say, I don't remember the question. But you were asked whether Jeffery Williams acted normal after all.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, I want to talk to you about that. You saw Jeffery Williams at his Sky House condo later in the evening of
Still call Uno. Yo, call Uno. Uno.
January 10th, 2015, going into the early morning hours, maybe better, January 11th, 2015. True?
Like early morning, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the next day.
Yeah, like 4, 5 in the morning, something like that.
Okay. So it's Sunday. And if you don't remember the date, just say, I don't remember. Sunday, January 11th, 2015, right?
I don't know exactly what day it was.
All right. And you knew it was already discussed. And
What?
It was.
all right. And you knew it was already discussed.
What happened?
It was.
All right. And you knew it was already discussed.
Bro.
Going into New Year's of 2015. So it's December 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st of 2014, striking into New Year, January 1, 2015. Do you remember if you were in Florida?
I don't remember exactly like.
All right. Okay. But you saw in Florida Jeffery and Rich Homie Quan together, right?
Yeah, they had like couple shows back to back in Florida.
And you went to them, right?
I went like 1 or 2.
All right. And this is after the, God forbid, the killing of Mr. Thomas, true?
Yes.
And from your observation, Rich Homie Quan and Jeffery, although maybe sad, they were getting along, right?
I mean, I told them everything was still like normal. Like.
No matter what was going on with you or other people and drive-by shootings, that had nothing to do with Jeffery from your vantage point. Is that true?
No.
Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
How many other people do you personally know, have the notoriety, that's a bad word, are as well known as Jeffery Williams?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
How many people from your neighborhood besides Jeffery are well-known musical artists like him?
No.
Now, I want to talk to you about a performer known as Dwayne Carter. He performs by Lil Wayne, okay?
Yes.
You know his music?
Some of it.
Do you like his music?
Yeah.
All right. From your observation,
You like it?
does Jeffery like his music?
Objection, speculation,
Overruled.
foundation.
Overruled.
He love it.
I can't hear you.
He love it.
Yeah.
Jeffrey loves Lil Wayne's music. Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Okay. And you knew this back in 2009 when you met Jeffrey, or 2008, whatever the year is. True.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what the word idolize? Do you know what that word means?
Like look up something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Is that something how you would describe Jeffrey with Lil Wayne?
Most definitely.
All right.
So that means Lil Wayne is just as much as a blood as the stenographer. Which means, by default, if Jeffrey was idolizing him, he a fake blood member too. And he just doing it like Birdman with the big red star on his head, right? They just all capping, right? Right?
Now, you were asked by the detectives on August 5, 2015, as well as by the DA's office and the detectives on March 3rd, 2017, about the shooting of the tour bus of Lil Wayne. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any information that Jeffery Williams knew that that tour bus would be shot before it was shot?
No.
Do you have any information that Jeffrey ordered, asked for? If I'm losing you with my word, just say I'm confusing you. I'm not trying to. The shooting of that bus.
No.
Okay. Do you have any information that Jeffrey was fond of, was happy that that bus got shot?
No.
In fact, Jeffrey was the opposite, right?
Speculation.
Sustained.
Do you know if Jeffrey was upset that that happened?
Objection, Your Honor. It would still be speculation.
Sustained.
I want to talk with you about, remember Lawyer Love asked you questions about Free Roscoe?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. And Roscoe, do you know his given name, Jimmy Winfrey?
I don't know his real name.
I can't hear you.
I don't know his real name.
All right. I'm going to call him Roscoe for now. You know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
And you told the jurors that you're aware that he pled guilty. Do you remember that?
Yes.
All right. Now, do you remember speaking with law enforcement, specifically Detective Dennis, Detective Gaither, about the Lil Wayne tour bus shooting on August 5, 2015?
Yeah, I remember.
I can't hear you.
Yes, I remember.
Okay. And is it true that you told them that you didn't think that Roscoe did the shooting?
Yes.
And is it true that Detective Dennis immediately told you that he agrees?
Yes.
And that's
Game.
on the recording of August 5, 2015. It might be on August or March 3rd, 2017 as well, but it's on the recording, right?
I guess.
Okay. But it was discussed during your recorded interviews with the police, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember explaining?
Your Honor, I think we need to approach before Mr. Steele gets
All right.
into this line of question.
Brian Still is successfully separating Thug and creating distance that we ain't seen all trial. Yeah, I'm surprised he waited for Quindarius Zachary. But yeah, He is definitely drawing the line in the sand right now. Like, yo, done shifted from 4th to 6th gear. Seriously. Because if he pressed like this, now he creating so much doubt in the jury's eyes because he going into this boy really famous. And it would be preposterous for him to be back home. Now he using the state's witnesses to prove it. With the timeline and the receipts. It is no way they can evade it. Because they was going off speculation and hearsay. My man pulled up receipts and ready to go through a linear fashion with the timeline, like really targeting. So at this point, where was he at in his career? It's the same thing I did at the beginning if you've been around. I was asking because I wasn't familiar with where he was at certain years, right? So as we going through the RICO, I'm starting to ask people, yo, hold up. The flying car, what has this boy already been, like what songs was out? People was already established in 2013. Holmes has songs that's already going viral, and he getting promotion that's abnormal, y'all. Holmes got some articles in 2013 that's out of this world. Let me know, oh, nah, Holmes wasn't no local joker no more. Already in 2013. Real rap. Holmes had already went national accordingly. Yo, it already made it into some magazines and things of this nature. Real rap, y'all.
The early morning hours of Sunday, January 11th, 2015. So to orient you, Donovan Thomas, God forbid, is shot the evening before, okay?
Yes.
So you go to Jeffrey's home at the Sky House, okay? That's what I'm locking in on.
Yeah.
All right. And at that time, were you aware that Jeffrey had several residences in Atlanta?
Yeah.
All right. He had other condominiums with an S. Is that true?
Yeah.
Do you know what a condominium is? And if you don't, high-rise apartments?
Condo.
Okay, condo. There you go. Okay.
Good boy.
And when you were asked by Lawyer Love that after the killing of Donovan Thomas was known that Jeffrey acted normal. Remember I asked you about that a little bit ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever see a social media post by Jeffrey about Donovan Thomas that morning?
Yes.
Okay. And did it give Jeffrey's heartfelt condolences?
Sustained.
Let me show you, with the court's permission, Mr. Williams, exhibit number 265. Okay? Your Honor, can Mr. Kokumo approach Mr. Zachary?
Yes.
The state has already, but would you do me a courtesy, just show it to the state again? Mr. Kokumo is going to come to you, Mr. Zachary. He's going to approach you, okay?
Okay.
He's going to show you something. Don't say what it is. Just tell us if you recognize it, if you know what it is, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll take out all that. Can you show it to me?
Kokomo looked like the third detective of Miami Vice.
Should have said.
Tap the like button, subscribe if you're not already. You already know.
What do you mean recognize? I saw the picture before.
This is a bad word. Listen, I apologize. And do that. Just tell me I'm using bad words, okay? Have you seen that social media item that's now marked? It's marked in an exhibit. Have you seen that before?
I saw the picture before.
Okay. And were you present at the time that picture was taken, if you know?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know who's in that picture?
Objection, Your Honor. One, I would ask the exhibit number again and
265.
thank you, and the relevance of who is in the picture. And I would ask that the witness, given his former statements, his previous testimony, not be allowed to talk about, not be allowed to display through his testimony what the exhibit is until it's admitted.
I just asked you to know who's in the picture.
Just answer, do you know who it is? Don't say who it is if you do know.
Yes.
Okay. And when have you seen that picture before?
A minute ago.
Well, a minute ago could be a long time ago or a short time ago.
A long time ago.
Okay. And is it accurate? Accurate may be a bad. Is it the same from your memory? Is that the same picture that you saw a long time ago?
The picture, yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to move for the admission of Mr. Williams, number 265.
Your Honor, just 1 second, please.
Salute to everybody in here. Good morning.
So this, I think the court should look at the exhibit and the picture itself only. The state has no objection to.
I'm looking at the exhibit as it was shared in the Dropbox link, and it's not just the picture.
We'll redact the other items.
Okay. Is that the only objection?
Cropping out, not just Mr. Kokomo indicated, cropping out the comments. I mean, redacting every word, just leaving the picture.
We're going to leave the date, Your Honor.
He didn't say that he said.
So foundational objection.
Foundational objection. Thank you.
Sustained.
Did you notice the date on that social media picture when it was shown to you?
No, I ain't see the date.
Okay,
I saw
Your Honor.
14.
One more time.
I saw 2014.
Year 2014 is what you're saying. Okay. Your Honor, can Mr. Kokomo approach again?
Yes.
He's going to come to you one more time, okay? He'll show you, he's going to point out he's not going to say anything, just going to point out the date, okay? And then my question will be, did you see this social media posting around that date? That's what I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
You had to tell me.
One more time.
You would have to tell me the word.
He doesn't know the word. Your Honor, is that okay if Mr. Kokomo can just pronounce that word for him in his ear?
On the date? Yeah.
And Your Honor, if when the court deems it appropriate, if we could just hear the question again, has he seen the post? I didn't catch that.
Do you remember, and if you don't, just say I don't recall. Do you remember seeing that photo on social media around the date that says on it?
Around that year, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I move for Mr. Williams exhibit number 265.
What was his answer? I couldn't hear it. We all need you to speak into the mic.
Around that year, yes.
Why you move the mic back away? Keep it in
Is there
front of your face.
objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that objection?
Foundation. The
Overruled.
relevance, given that he said around that year. He saw the photo, so the date is.
I mean, that's a very broad year. It's 12 months long. So I don't think there's enough foundation for the date to come in at this point.
That's fine, Your Honor. Okay. Let me ask you about this. I want to talk to you about the rental car. It's an Infiniti G35, okay?
Yes.
You know cars? Are you familiar with cars?
Yes.
You like cars?
Yes.
All right. And you were physically inside that rental car, right?
Yes.
And the only information you know about that rental car comes from Kenneth Copeland.
You like cars?
True?
Yes, I told him I never saw nobody else in the car but him.
And Kenneth Copeland driving the car, right?
Yes.
Would you ever, it doesn't matter, I guess, there may be a relevance objection, but did you ever drive that rental car?
No.
All right. And who's the last person that you ever saw with that rental car?
I went to the studio that night and Copeland still had the car.
Okay. And the car we're talking about, just tell the jurors what car if you remember.
The Infinity.
What color was it? If you remember, if you don't remember, just say
I don't remember what color it was.
All right. And did Kenneth Copeland tell you that Jeffrey rented the car for him?
That's what he didn't say. He just told me that he had got the car and it was wrong.
Did he tell you who he got the car from?
Yeah, he said Jeffery.
At that time in 2015, did you know anybody else in your group besides Jeffrey who could rent a car?
No.
Now, you were asked by police about Jeffrey breaking ties. I mean, that's a wrong word. That's bad. Jeffrey not speaking anymore with Kenneth Copeland after a couple months into 2015. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
All right. And
Yeah, I
by
remember.
June of 2015, you're aware that, if you are, that Jeffrey doesn't speak with Kenneth Copeland. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. And the police said to you, and that's because Kenneth Copeland went to the police on January 11th, 2015, shortly after Donovan Thomas's killing. Do you remember that?
You said that was
Objection, Your Honor. That would call for speculation.
Sustained.
Don't speculate. The police discussed that with you. That was what they told you, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember telling the police that Jeffrey separated because all of the, I'm not going to use the word, but all of the things that Kenneth Copeland just brings with himself?
Yes.
Okay. And Jeffrey did the same with you, right?
I had ended up
Objection,
being,
vague. Did the
Sustained.
Well, you already said that Jeffrey didn't have any, or you didn't have any contact with Jeffrey after about April
I
2000.
started getting in trouble.
Once you
around that
started,
time.
I can't hear you.
I started getting in trouble around that time.
And what happened, Jeffrey?
I ain't saying no more.
Okay. Do you have any information to share with this jury that Jeffrey was
Fresh like dish
in
detergent.
favor of Kenneth Copeland shooting at people? Do you have any
objection,
information?
that would call for speculation.
Overruled.
No.
Do you have any information that Jeffrey was in favor of you shooting at any houses or people?
He never knew what nobody did. I told him.
Until it was over, you say?
Not even like the shootings. Like he probably didn't even know about them.
Okay. All right. Your Honor, may I have a second?
Yes.
Don't say what it is yet. Don't say if you know about it. But did you ever hear in March 2015, in 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, all the way up to this year, 24, do you ever hear Rich Homie Quan discuss his relationship with Jeffrey?
Yes.
There may be a hearsay.
Objection, Your Honor. There's a relevance objection, and there would be a hearsay
I
objection.
think it's relevant, but
And there would be a hearsay objection, but it's not relevant unless you can get into it. So we would ask.
Sustained as to hearsay.
by 2015, if you know, did Jeffrey do work with Rihanna? Do you know who Rihanna is?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
You told the jury that you would go over to Jeffrey's condominium about 10 times a week. You realize you said that?
But as I was saying, like, we might leave and go to the store.
I can't hear you.
Once you get there, you probably leave and go to the store, go get something to eat, something like that. So that's why I said in and out 10 times, bro.
from Jeffrey's schedule, do you know that you were at his house? How many times you were at his house in 2015 till you were arrested? Do you really know?
Not that, in 2015, not that much.
I can't hear you.
In 2015, not that much.
When were you talking when you said 10 times?
Like, I was saying, like, when he's there, like, as in coming there, count that, leaving and going and get something to eat and coming back, count that, stuff like that. That's what I would count.
When Jeffrey's around?
Yeah.
Were you aware that he traveled a lot?
Yes.
2013, 14, and 15?
Yes.
Okay.
Mick Jagger. That Mick Jagger.
Do you know
is
when
different now.
Jeffrey moved out of the Cleveland Avenue area? And if you don't, just say, I don't know the year.
I don't know that.
All right. Now, you were asked about your good friend, I believe you're close with. You said, what I call Mr. Sledge. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Goes by Moontomb, right?
Yes.
All right. And that is true that you're very close with him, right?
Yes.
To this day,
No, I've been locked up. I told you that.
since you got out?
No, I ain't been around nobody.
Okay. He was given a title. Do you know what title that was? I'm going back to 2014 and 15 to work with the record label, YSL.
Yes.
Do you remember the title? And if you don't, just say,
Yeah.
oh, what was it?
Security.
One more time.
Security.
Okay. And do you know whether there were other people, do you know, who were actually also doing the security and trying to teach Mr. Sledge?
Yeah, like bodyguards and stuff like that.
One more time.
Like bodyguards and stuff. That's what you mean, yeah.
I can't hear you.
Like bodyguards.
Okay. Yeah, bodyguard security. That's right.
Yeah.
And were you aware that there were other people training Mr. Sledge on how to look for bodyguards? Were you aware? And if you don't know, just say, I don't know.
Like telling him stuff like
Yeah.
what to do and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because Mr. Sledge had no experience, right?
No.
To your knowledge, was Mr. Sledge given an opportunity to learn, though, a trade?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you ever offered a job?
It's not like I will offer a job. It's just if you dare help out. Like,
One more time.
If you dare help out.
Okay. And you did that with merchandise, right?
Whatever. If I ain't go get whatever I go get
food.
Get done, yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into unless you want to, but you mentioned several times illnesses.
Yes.
You didn't feel well. And on Friday, when you came here the first time to testify before this honorable jury, you were wearing a jail uniform. You remember that?
Yes.
And you had certain types of cotton or bandages on your body that were visible. Do you remember that?
Band-Aids, yes.
All right. And you came from the hospital. True.
Yes.
And you've been battling this health issue since you were born. Is that true?
Yes.
And your health issue is something documented, right?
Yes.
And it's serious.
Yes, very.
Okay. Now, you had prior, you were called to this courthouse on around January 10th and 11th of 2023, a year before this year. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you came from Augusta, Georgia area. Is that true?
Carolina. Oh.
Sustained.
Do you remember Lawyer Love?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance to this entire line of conversation about previous appearances by this witness.
Goes to bias.
I don't know what it's going to be.
I could tell you.
Your Honor, could we approach him?
Yes.
He is not improper.
Let's take our morning break.
All right, y'all, what y'all think? Let me know in the chat.
Mr. Steele says to the court that it goes to bias. I would ask for a proffer from Mr. Steele about what he intends to ask this witness and the relevance of it.
Mr. Steele?
Boo. Boo. Boo.
Your Honor, it was January 10th, going into the 11th, 2023, and Ricky Richardson represented Mr. Zachary. Ricky Richardson called me and told
Ricky Richardson is crazy.
me that the state had subpoenaed Mr. Zachary. He was in Augusta, and he was sick, and that lawyer Love, Miss Love, told him that he has to come, Mr. Zachary has, or more members of the DA's office have to come and meet with Miss Love at her office. Otherwise, the predecessor judge will lock him up. He was asking me, are there any witnesses coming to court that day? I said, no, we were barely in jury selection, which started on January 4th, 2023. When Mr. Zachary was testifying, he stated that you don't want my father to come to Miss Love. He stated he to me shut down on questionings to Miss Love. So it looks like he somehow now he's answering questions on cross-examination. And I want to bring out the fact that he does not trust the state. He said he wouldn't take medicine from them.
Whoa.
He didn't trust them. Miss Love asked him a question. He said, you don't want me to tell you, let the truth come out. And I believe that's what he's getting to. So he did come from Augusta. He missed his job. He missed his medical appointment, drove all the way here. And I was told, that by Ricky Richardson that the father met him here, and that the father, through an anger, was angry, and then the DA's office let him go. That's what I was told. I'm going to ask him his opinion. It goes to his bias. Why was he acting that way on direct examination? That's what I'm going to ask him.
All right, I don't see you can ask him if he, likes the state or something, but we don't need to get into all of the back and forth behind it.
I was going to ask him then why. When he answers yes or no, I ask him why. Why do you have that feeling?
Well, you can ask him that.
Okay. Then that's the situation. Thank you, Your Honor.
As long as there's not that specific line of questioning that was presented early, and it's just how do you feel about the state and why, then I don't have any further objections.
All right. I mean, I don't know what his answer is going to be, but,
Let's see.
okay, we'll just see what he says.
Let's give it a whiff.
I'd also just wanting to make the record clear, with respect to anything that Mr. Steele is representing Mr. Richardson said, I would ask that he not be allowed to backdoor that. If he wants to call Mr. Richardson as a witness, that's fine. But to get into Mr. Zachary's feelings about something Mr. Richardson said to him about something that I said or someone from the state said.
Well, are you representing that nobody from the state said anything like that?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. We called Mr. Zachary. I called Mr. Richardson. I let him know that Mr. Zachary was under subpoena. And I asked him if he could reach out to Mr. Zachary because he had not appeared and we wanted to set up a date for when he would actually come in. Otherwise, we could put him on call or he would have to be here until it was time to testify if he's not going to appear. Mr. Richardson then called Mr. Zachary. Well, I was on three-way because I never spoke to him. And I think that there was someone else. There was an investigator because we were on speakerphone. And Mr. Richardson said, you have to answer the subpoena. If you don't answer the subpoena, you're going to get arrested. That's Mr. Richardson. That's not the state. And Mr. Zachary said, I don't have a way down there. And I said, we could come and pick you up.
Whoa.
Mr. Zachary.
Y'all not picking me up, and look at Brian still blowing his shoulders. He about to go into overdrive, y'all. Yes, sir.
I said, what's your address? Mr. Zachary said, I don't want to give it to you. Mm-hmm. Mr. Richardson said, you're going to either have to give them your address or you're going to have to answer the subpoena. That was the extent of the conversation that we had with Mr. Zachary, with Mr. Richardson at that time.
All right. Any questions?
No.
Okay, let's take bathroom break.
So still just successfully just gave the state a whole, couple rounds of body shots. State looked real bruised. We in the late rounds of the match, right? State looking real bruised right now, winded, in the quarter, drinking mad water, but spitting it back out. Like, you feel me? So it's not looking too good for the state, if you ask me. Miss Love Bojangling, straight like that. Brian Steele has successfully used Lil D to literally dismantle the unstructured case that Miss Love has thrown in front of the jury. So the way he successfully went to the key elements that's needed to be proved for a RICO to be true, and he kind of he strategically made Lil D admit to these certain ideas that he put in front of him, and Lil D slam dunked every one of them. Brian Steele essentially was just coming down the court like a globetrotter, just floating it in the air, and Lil D coming out the trampoline, dunking. Nah, Young Thug wasn't even, capable to tell guys what to do. Nah, Holmes was already torn. Essentially, he's a rapper. He was famous. He ain't condone what we was doing. He didn't even know. That part gonna be so heavy on the jury, y'all. Because that's what it looked like on paper. Real rap. When you really look at all receipts, not hearsay or speculation, people throwing somebody's name underneath the bus. Nah,